everybody, and welcome to Cam Girl Real World. Tonight, we are interviewing the beautiful and talented Geisha Monroe, aka Western Geisha, as she is known on Chaturbate. We have done this once before, but Shay is an asshole and managed to lose the audio files, so here we are again.
Hi, how's it going? I still love you.
So, Geisha, what motivates you to work hard?
Money and attention. I desperately need attention. I feed off of it.
So give her all your nickels.
Give me your nickels. I currently owe the IRS a large sum of money, so give them to me, please. Just your spare ones, not the ones you need, just your spares.
And you have a Come Fund Me page, too, for that. Would you like to promote that as well?
It is currently pinned on the top of my Twitter. My Twitter is @Geisha Monroe. I highly suggest checking it out. I currently, for some reason, their website doesn't include prize pages, but if you donate anywhere from $20 and up, I definitely have prizes for $20 and up. The higher the amount of money you donate, the better prize I will give you, anywhere from signed photos, worn panties, DVDs. I even make Magic the Gathering cards that I call Geisha the Gathering. They're slutty as hell, and they're amazing, and I will sign the backs of them so they're collectors when I am the Nina Hartley of our generation.
All right, we'll make sure to include that link as well. Geisha, what is your favorite thing about being a cam girl?
Getting gussied up like a grand slut every night. I mean, I don't like doing the actual makeup, but it's nice to feel pretty every night. I don't know. It's probably the thing that motivates me is like, I'm gonna look good, I'm gonna feel good, and hopefully I'll get an orgasm or two out of it.
And your makeup is always on point.
Thank you, darling, thank you. I do my best.
And what is your biggest complaint about being a cam girl?
I mean, it varies site to site. Certain sites, it's the inability to actually ban people that are rude. Other sites, it's payout schedules. I mean, all around, I really don't have a huge amount of complaints, but it's generally people that just are either incoherent or rude.
Absolutely, and unfortunately, you had a few of those tonight.
I live more on the edge of the non-nude cam girl, and that's not to say that I don't flash and show my genitals, because if you tip, and I don't charge very much to see my no-no bits, I'm happy to do it, but actually removing all of my articles of clothing at the same time is hard for me. I have a bit of body dysmorphia, and one of my very loving and wonderful mods and cam room users tipped for me to be nude for 15 minutes, and unfortunately I had some not so savory comments, and it was one of those nights where I just felt like venting. They happen occasionally, and usually actually more people enjoy it than don't, so it tends to work in my favor.
You had pretty much a whole mob on your hands there for a while.
I certainly did. Luckily, they were my mob and not the opposition's mob, so that was great. That was the best part, is they were like, right on, yeah, we're gonna burn that guy's house down. So, I love those people.
So, what is your proudest accomplishment?
My proudest accomplishment would be ever hitting the top 2 rows of Chaturbate. It's a very prized position on that website, and it's a website I use frequently, and it's the top spot to be seen by anybody coming into that website for the first time. So it's really nice being up where people can see you and find you easily, and get to know you. Really, it's nice being in a prime position, and you really have to work for it on Chaturbate. So
yes, you do.
It's nice being there.
If you could choose to do anything for a day, what would it be?
Rent out Disneyland for myself. You, darling, of course, Shay. Ellie, Lucky, maybe Bumbling if he could leave his house. All of my close cam friends and family. My, of course, close friends and family that know what I do for a living, and just go on every ride, have a wonderful time, pig out on Mickey Mouse shaped pretzels with cheese, and just love it. That would definitely be something I'd love to do for a day.
That would be awesome. I would love to join you. So would you rather win the lottery or work at the perfect job, and why?
This is one question I actually remember answering. And I would say I believe working the perfect job. I mean, if you work the perfect job, you make what you want to make, or something you're comfortable with living off of. you know, you're settled, you're comfortable, you're happy in what you do, and, you know, it's just the right fit. And I would definitely rather have that than win the lottery, just because I would feel more fulfilled, because frankly, a lot of lottery winners end up crazy and bankrupt anyway, so I'd rather have an honest living than have a crazy large sum of money at one time.
So who would you want to be stranded on a deserted island with?
That's a hard question. It would probably be either the wonderful Scotty Monroe, my cam husband and real life fiance, or my grandmother, my paternal grandmother. Both wonderful people, just full of wonderful stories. Scotty and I would probably fight more than me and my grandmother would, but both just, you know, full of insight and awesomeness, and just great people to be stranded somewhere with. And I'd be able to have sex with Scott, so that's a plus.
Right. If you could go back in time, what year would you travel to?
I would have to say somewhere in the 50s and 60s. I really couldn't pick an exact date. Definitely in more of a peacetime, somewhere in there. I don't know exactly where that would exist, but right before the burning bras, but right when like pinup girls and burlesque was still a big deal. Because I would love to be a real burlesque showgirl.
I think you would make a killing at it too.
Well, thank you, darling. Thank you.
What would you sing at karaoke night?
I've only done karaoke once, and I feel like I made some poor decisions in my karaoke because I didn't know the lyrics to what I was singing. But I would say something probably in the realm of like Spice Girls, like To Become One or Wannabe, just because I know all the words and I could get really campy with it. My formative years was very much influenced by like the Spice Girls, and I know all the words, and it'd be a lot of fun, especially when drunk. So, Spice Girls, anything by Spice Girls, pretty much.
So that is something we are definitely going to have to make happen. I'm sure that our viewers would love to see that. If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I'm actually going to take a page out of your book, because we did my initial interview first and then we did yours, and I was very jealous of your answer because I didn't pick a whole meal. I picked like things, and I was like, what the fuck? My meal that I could only eat for the rest of my life would probably consist of meatloaf, mashed potatoes, macaroni and cheese, oysters on the half shell with fresh lemon only, goddammit, and freshly made biscuits.
Good answer. Other than camming and porn, what are your hobbies?
That's a heavy question, just because of every stupid random thing I pick up turns into a hobby in my life. Because I go from Susie Homemaker to video game nerd very, very fast. I paint, I draw, I make goddamn soap. I really, really enjoy dedicating a large amount of time to playing video games and actually streaming on Twitch while I play video games, which it's at Geisha Monroe, like fucking everything else for my Twitch. I delve into a lot of weird shit when I have hobbies. I mean, I love to play disc golf. I like random shit like going to the beach, riding my bike. I really enjoy going to the gym, but I never do it because I'm a lazy asshole. I've pretty much tried everything there is for a hobby, and I would pretty much all call it my hobbies. I also enjoy gardening. It's really broad. It's really broad.
Would you like to pimp your soap company?
My soap company is frostedcrossbones.com. I've actually been making soap since 2009, and magically, for whatever reason, I actually got featured on the Today Show back in 2012. I was featured in the Maxim Men's Gift Guide for my chicken wing soaps. So most of my soap actually is food themed. I make jewelry, I make bags, but mostly I make soap just because it's so much fun and you can play with it.
Very cool. So everybody check out Frosted Crossbones. What are 5 things that you couldn't live without?
5 things I cannot live without would be Nat Sherman Natural Menthols, a lighter, my Hitachi magic wand, a comfy bed, and Netflix.
List 2 pet peeves.
I would have to say my 2 pet peeves would be people that are ignorant and people that don't respect art. Definitely. Those are my two pet peeves. People that don't know what's going on in the world and just are completely oblivious to everything. And yeah, people that just don't understand the time and effort that goes into producing any form of art, whether it be music, podcasts, Miss Shay, because you do so much work for us here on the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any sort of art, because art takes a lot of time and effort, and people just think that it's, fluid and it's so easy for us.
If you were a superhero, what powers would you have?
I would be invisible, because god damn it if I don't love to spy on people, and I would just love to hear what people have to say in their free time, being it the president or my next door neighbor. And probably flight. Fuck traffic. I just want to be able to fly everywhere.
If you could share a meal with any 4 individuals, living or dead, who would they be?
Adolf Hitler. I know. I'm one of those people. He seems very, very interesting and very fucked up. He'd be eating vegetarian and vegan food. It'd be fine. My grandmother, who I love very dearly and I talk about all the time. Marilyn Monroe and Betty Page.
That would be quite an interesting dinner. So what is your favorite type of foreign food?
My favorite type of foreign food would have to be Ethiopian. You sit on the floor, you eat with your hands. It's all just delicious and have different flavors, and it's really easy to chew. My family has really bad teeth, so it's really nice eating stuff that's basically the consistency of baby food but has the most amazing flavors you've ever experienced in your life.
I will definitely have to try it. What is your favorite movie?
It's a tie between, and it's a very large gap I'm going to bridge here, is 10 Things I Hate About You, which if you've never seen it, it's actually a modern play on Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew. And Gummo, which is a faux documentary of the lives of basically hillbillies and rednecks in like Idaho. And if you haven't seen either of them, go see them because they're just brilliant in completely different ways. And 10 Things I Hate About You is Heath Ledger, and God, does he make my pussy wet.
So shout out to Heath Ledger. Do you collect anything?
I collect art. I collect toys. I collected rubber ducks as a child. I collect any form of art I can get my hands on if I find it interesting. I enjoy collecting like faux stuffed heads, like faux taxidermy. They're basically in the shape of like stuffed animals. It's fantastic. And any kind of like cartoon art. I really enjoy like comic book art and art of like cartoons from my childhood, Marilyn Monroe art. And I paint myself, so I guess I'm a collector of my own artwork, even though I don't think it's all that great.
And Hello Kitty.
Oh god, I forgot. I'm so sorry. Hello Kitty and Tokidoki shit. Holy fuck. You called me out on that one, and it's absolutely true. I've got Hello Kitty and Tokidoki characters tattooed on my body, so I definitely collect those. And anything that's food related, that is true. I collect a lot of shit. It's horrible. I'm a hoarder.
If you were the ruler of your own country, what would be the first law you would introduce?
I'd probably introduce socialized healthcare, gay marriage, free college tuition for anybody interested in getting a higher education. I'm a huge goddamn socialist, so anything that promotes socialism and feeding off of the wealthy. I'm sorry, the wealthy. Fuck you. Give me your money. You have too goddamn much of it. You're not spending enough of it on us poor folks. I wholeheartedly believe in socialism, so I believe in supporting the needy as much as physically possible.
Very good answer. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
A full-time porn star and cam girl. I really love what I do right now, and I don't really want to see myself anywhere else. I went to cosmetology school, so I know how to do hair. Unfortunately, that is something I need to finish doing due to my divorce, but I don't have the funds for it. But if I never get the funds for it and I continue to be a cam girl and a porn star well into my 80s, I would be more than sufficiently happy with the way my life went.
If you could be anyone for a day, who would it be and why?
Oh, god damn it, I'd be Marilyn Monroe, and I'd be fucking fabulous. I'd be her on her best day of her life.
If you could go to any school, tuition free, where would you go and what would you study?
I would go back and I would finish my cosmetology school at Paul Mitchell. Paul Mitchell, the schools are awesome, and I would totally happily finish my cosmetology free of tuition. There's a lot of other things I'd love to do in my life, but that is top of my list, just to finish that up.
And of course, the most important question of all, if you could have any sex toy, what would it be?
I would love for somebody to invent a combination. This is ridiculous. A combination monkey rocker. If nobody knows what a monkey rocker is, it's basically the bottom half of a rocking chair with a dildo that comes through, and then a man's torso. Either that or a real doll. If something I have to have that already exists to be a real doll. Any real doll, I would take a real doll any fucking day for free. But a monkey rocker with a men's torso.
So everybody start saving your nickels so that you can help Geisha get either a real doll or a monkey rocker. She would absolutely love one of those. If anybody has any questions or comments or concerns or would like to help fund Geisha's either come fund me or check out her soap business or anything like that, you can email us at camgirlrealworld@gmail.com. Thank you so much for doing this interview with me again, Geisha, and it was great to have you.